Ladies and gentlemen, if I could ask you to be seated, we're already running behind. Thank you. So, good afternoon and a very warm welcome to the annual General Managers Conference. This year's conference is entitled The Keys to Growth, a particularly apt title, I thought, considering we are celebrating our 21st consecutive conference. With this distinctly positive change in the economic climate and reports of the highest ever RevPAR in London this December, growth is certainly a headline that we can confidently embrace. Fear not, though, we haven't asked Alan Titchmarsh to be one of our guest speakers, although you will note more than a few nods towards a horticultural theme. Over the next 2 days, the speakers and session chairs have been tasked with planting a variety of seeds in your mind, which, together with the nourishment and warmth provided by the Park Plaza and the water provided by Hilden, are destined to germinate into brilliant ideas for you to harvest and take back to your own businesses, along with a bunch of fresh inspiration to unlock the full potential of your teams. For the observant amongst you, you will notice that we are for the first time south of the river, albeit only just. And I'm delighted to report that this shift to what the Park Lane boys and girls might regard as the bottom of the garden hasn't impacted on attendance. On the contrary, we actually have a record number of delegates this year. At 21, the conference could be likened to a mature oak that is here to stay, and its continued success is testament to the fact that it has successfully evolved over a period of 2 decades to become such an important date in the hotelier's annual calendar. This year's event also sees growth in the number of sponsors we have, too, and thanks to Fiona Patrick, we have 27 companies supporting the event, 9 more than last year. All 21 of the gold sponsors can be found in the marketplace on the upper level, and those categorized silver and bronze will be strategically positioning themselves around the event. All of these partners have been handpicked for their relevance, and I would encourage you to go foraging for them during the breaks. We are eternally grateful for their support as, at the end of the day, it enables the conference to make a profit. Every penny of this goes towards Master Inholders scholarships at Cornell, Cranfield, and Lausanne, and now also the Aspiring Leaders Diploma, which will see the second cohort graduate in March. You will hear more about the importance on stage later, and if you can't wait that long, details can also be found in the education corner and in your goodie bags. The conference's reputation is increasingly far-reaching, and we are delighted to be welcoming delegates from as far afield as Texas, Massachusetts, and Baku, not to mention a healthy geographical spread across the UK. Talking of reach, we are delighted to have the support of some of the top industry press, and I would like to take the opportunity to thank them for their interest in the conference and the Master Inholders. Welcoming 462 of your contemporaries through your doors is not for the faint-hearted. However, Greg Hegarty, MI, and Daniel Podreski, GM of the Park Plaza, have risen to the challenge, and I'm sure none of you will be disappointed. Now would also be a good opportunity for me to highlight Simon Willis, the operations manager, who has been superb during the planning stages. As always, we have 2 session chairs, both of whom have been tasked with keeping an eye on the sundial, and have been instructed to take the hedge trimmers to anyone spouting too much organic matter and quickly extract any that turn out to be weeds. Today's session chair is freshly picked for the conference. However, she is no stranger to you or this stage. Ufi Ibrahim's day job is, of course, Chief Executive of the British Hospitality Association, And one of her many achievements in the last 12 months was to start and lead the big conversation with Patrick Dempsey to help link our severe skills shortages and youth unemployment together. Ufi is also now heads up the Tourism Alliance. Also new for 2014 are questions on Twitter. So, the roving mics have been tossed on the compost heap, and you can tweet your way into the debate using the hashtag GMConf. So that's capital G, capital M, C-O-N-F. If you're not a tweeter, then you can ask someone at your table to pose the question on your behalf, or better still, ask them for a quick tutorial. The only exception, of course, is David Morgan Hewitt, whose private secretary will relay the questions via his equerry. Details of how to get free Wi-Fi are on your table in the middle. Like the Quizmaster of Gardener's Question Time, St. Julian scholar Verian Armstrong will be harvesting the best questions from the live Twitter feed. Now, the perils of consuming too much sugar have dominated the news again recently, and mindful of your health, we have reacted quickly and given you a healthy, cultivated alternative courtesy of Wellock's on your table. Although, as I think most of you found, there are plenty of sweet treats outside for anyone needing their sugar fix. This year's conference has been successfully propagated by our excellent conference chair, Danny Pecorelli, ably assisted by Sue Williams. Both have worked tirelessly to help germinate a bumper crop of specimen speakers, and I'm sure that the fruits of their labor will be worth all the backbreaking work. To lighten their load, there is a small army of students from the 10 out of 10 program. Hiding the undergrowth, of course, is Philippe Rossiter, our executive secretary, who we simply couldn't manage without. So, with a queue quickly forming at the garden gate, I'm going to leave you in the capable hands and very green fingers of our head gardener for today, Ufi Ibrahim.